I think we have found the place where the next chapter of our life begins. So from the moment we moved into our previous place, I told my wife that that place would only be temporary and that we would move into another place pretty soon. We've been living in that place for about 5 years now, and recently we've been having the feeling that we were ready for a new phase in our life. And when I say a new phase, I'm not saying a completely different life. Like, we do not want to move hours away from the city center or disappear into the countryside. We just want something that feels more like us. Just a place with more space, that feels more calm, that gives me more freedom or give us more freedom, and a place that gives us a little more room to breathe. And after a lot of searching, visiting, doubting ourselves, comparing homes, I think we found it. We found our dream home. And like, I know me saying dream home can sound a bit dramatic because no home is perfect and every house has compromises, but to us it felt different. It really does feel like our dream home. So from the moment we first visited this house, we felt like something was different about this one. Like, we could actually see our future here. Not just sleeping there or storing all things there, but like actually build our life here. We went from living in an apartment, feeling increasingly trapped by apartment life, to finding this perfect little home that feels very cozy, and it's still 15 minutes away only from Paris city center. So before finding this house, we were living in an apartment in Bagnolet. And honestly, for a while it was fine. But over time, we felt more and more limited. And the best way to describe this would be we were feeling caged. There was like this constant feeling of not really being in control of your own space, if that makes sense, and feeling very limited. When you live in an apartment, especially in a copropriété, you don't just live in your home, you depend on the copropriété, you depend on their decisions, the delays, the problems of the building. And honestly, that was the biggest problem for us, the copropriété. So for the people who don't know, the copropriété is basically the equivalent of HOA in France. And they're basically in charge of all the collective decisions, like the repairs of the buildings, what needs to be upgraded, and so on. And honestly, we kind of grew tired of it. There was always something, always a decision in the waiting, always these meetings, the delays in the repairs, some stuff just took forever to get repaired because of it. And like, these meetings were very, very tiring. For example, in 2025, I think, I went to one of the meetings and it started at 6 p.m. and we ended at 3 a.m. Like, it lasted so long that my phone battery just died and my wife didn't know where I was and she was so worried. It's really something that does affect your daily life. You feel like you're not really in control of your home. For example, during the heat wave, we installed a split AC with no permanent installation. And the day following the installation, we received an email from them saying, oh, you don't have the right to put an AC even though it's not permanent. So I had to argue with them, like saying there's nothing in the rules that say I don't have the right to do so. And in the end, they did allow it. Even though I did tell my wife in advance that this would only be a temporary place, we grew really tired of it. We just wanted our own place. Like, yes, a house is a bunch of decisions too, a bunch of repairs as well, but like, at least you're in control. And that is the biggest reason we decided to move into our house. We wanted our own walls, we wanted some outdoor space, we wanted more freedom basically, and we wanted a place that reflects us more, and a place that would enable our future projects. And when you start imagining your life in a house, it's hard to be happy about your apartment life. Like, yes, house life is not for everyone, but apartment life is not for everyone either. And like, when you're not happy about your place, you start to notice every single thing that's bad about it, like the noises that your neighbors make, the hallways, the shared spaces, and so on. And for us, this feeling of discontent kept growing. So we started looking for something new because we grew tired of this apartment. And at first we were being realistic because being so close to Paris, it's hard to find the perfect house that fills every criteria. Like, either the house is too big or too expensive or too small or not quiet enough. And we did visit quite a few houses actually. A lot were interesting, some were looking good on the internet but were not looking great in person. somewhere looking great in person actually, but did not give you that special feeling that you're looking for. And that's one thing I actually learned during this process. You have to visit in person. Like, photos can give you a layout, they can give you an idea of how the house looks, but you really do have to visit and get that feeling for yourself. And when you're looking for your forever home, that feeling matters a lot actually. Like, you're not just buying a house, you're buying something that you're going to spend your whole life in. Of course, you still have to be rational about it, right? You still have to think about, like, is this in budget? How is the house looking? I mean, construction-wise, is it still sound or not? But the feeling that the house gives you still matters a lot. You're buying the place where you're going to wake up, going to spend the rest of your life, going to sleep, and so on. So it has to be good. And then we visited this house. When you first see it from the outside, it looks very unassuming, and then you enter through this purple door and you're greeted with this small but very cozy garden actually. And on the right there's a garage that's actually pretty big. From this garden you can also access the basement, which is also very big, which is a good point. Then you get into the actual house. You go through this entrance, and then on the left there's most of the house. It looks very old and crammy at first, and it looks very dark and gloomy. But when you start projecting yourself living into this house, you can see the potential it has. On the right, there's also more space, like the kitchen and another bathroom. But the detail that really made us want this house was actually the outdoor space. Like, this garden is so cozy, and the garage is actually a really big plus, so is the basement. And I'm not saying this lightly. Like, I know the house might look bad in the footage I'm showing or the pictures, but some places you walk in and you know it's not the right places, and that's not this for this house. Like, the moment we walked in, we knew this was the house we were going to buy. Like, the feeling that this house provides you with is crazy. Like, it feels protected. It really does feel like a cocoon. I know I'm blabbering a lot about it being cozy and a cocoon, but even though you're this close to Paris city center, which is about 15 minutes away, it feels like this house is out of time. Like, it really doesn't feel like you're living in the city. You can still access Paris city center very easily from the metro. Like, you're not giving anything up, basically. Like, you're not giving the convenience of being in the city. You're not giving up the convenience of being around everything, but it does feel like you're not in the city. It's really weird. It's close to Paris, but it does not feel like Paris. And another reason we love this house so much is not only because it gives you this crazy feeling, but it actually matches a lot of our criteria too. So we wanted to remain close to Paris, which is a check. Like, we're only 15 minutes away from city center. Then we wanted something that's very cozy and quiet, which is something that's checked also. Then we wanted an outdoor space, which is also something that's checked. Then the surface is also good, the price is also good. And we had the garage and the basement, which is a big plus for us. And the biggest criteria was the renovation potential, like the potential it gives us for our future projects, which is why we wanted the basement and the garage, and also this room. Like, we have a lot of projects that are oncoming, so yeah, this house matches pretty much every criteria we have. But what I actually find interesting is that, okay, you start with a list of criteria, but this list is not everything. Like, a house can match every criteria you have and still not feel right. And that actually happened to us for the second house we visited, I think. It did match every criteria we had, but it really didn't feel right. And then you can visit a house that's not perfect, but even though this one did match a lot of our criteria, if not all of them, but it makes you feel something, and that feeling is the most important thing. Like, this house gave us the feeling that, okay, this is the house. And it's not only the idea of what the house is now, right? Like, as you can see in the footage I showed, the house is very old. It needs to be refreshed. But it's the idea of what the house can become. And this is what excites me. Like, what can you renovate? What can you arrange? Like, how can you decorate it as you want? But at the same time, it's also the scary part, because like renovations can get crazy expensive, and you always know you're going to run into some problems at some point. It takes a lot of patience, time, and money, and effort actually. But that's also what's meaningful. You're basically building the next chapter of your life or preparing for it. And for me personally, this house connects to a lot of the things I've said during my previous video. I said I wanted to stop procrastinating, like to start doing things and to be more proactive, to live a more meaningful life. And this is what this house embodies. It's basically a big project. It's a lot of commitment, and that's what I need. Like, of course, I don't want to make it sound like everything is perfect, like buying a house is stressful, right? There's the financial aspect, like it actually took us the better part of a year to get the financing right on this place. There's also a lot of hidden surprises that you run into during renovation. It's never perfect. Like, there are things you discover later. You need to make some compromises during the renovation. I'm sure there will be other difficult moments, but this house still feels right. And I think that's the most important part. Like, the house does not feel perfect, it feels right. Just right. Another point is, I think there's also something special about finding a place with someone else. Like, this is not just my dream home, like it's a place we found together. It's our dream home. And I think that made it even more meaningful. And you're asking yourself, can we build a life here? Can this house fit our routines? Can we grow into this house? And the answer was a resounding yes for this one. A good way to illustrate this is I actually visited this house by myself first, and then I showed it to my wife, and then she came and visited this house with me. And the first thing she told me was, now I know why you don't like living in apartments and prefer living in a house. And that's probably the best way I can explain it. Like, this house felt like a yes. The kind of yes that when you walk out of the visit, you start thinking about the house again. You start thinking about this house every waking hour of the day. Like, you start projecting yourself in it. Like, what can I build there? What can I put in this room, and so on. And that's when we knew this house was the correct one. So yeah, we found our dream home. Thanks for watching.